Evening all, and welcome back to Kerbalism. So, after a somewhat successful trip to Minmus, our two brave Kerbals, Phobart and Helfrond, are on their way back down, nice and gently, to the surface of Kerbin. And after a long trip down, because that's a lot of parachutes for a craft this heavy, I even had to deploy the solar panels on the way down because the battery was starting to die. There we are. We are finally home. The little docking port there it did stretch a bit, and I was worried it was going to break, but it's good. It's all good. So let's take a surface sample, because we might as well come back with some form of science, seeing as we left the rest of it in orbit of Minmus. And we gained 12.1 science. Well done. Well done, that was fantastic. A bit of money, that's not too bad. And of course, they get the experience. That's an important part, because that really helps. However, there is an idea I've got. You see, I'm not sure if I can actually bring it up here. Can I? Can I bring up the data? Yes, I can. You can flag these to go to a laboratory, and then they will. Scientists will process data, and then it can be transmitted back. Obviously, it doesn't have a laboratory up there. We need to. We would need to build one. We don't want that one there. We need to put one of those, the mobile processing lab, in orbit and plug it into our probe around Minmus. And I'm thinking, I want one of them in orbit anyway. In orbit of Kerbin, granted, not really in orbit of Minmus, but why don't we take one to Minmus, plug it in, transfer the data over and get it processing, and then bring it back to Kerbin and plug it into what we've got of our station up there that's not really a decent station, but is a station and could become a station. It has potential to be a station. So I will build a craft that could take one of these to orbit of Minmus and bring it back with Kerbals on board, because these do need Kerbals. They have 2 seats for Kerbals. And then we can try and plug it into our station, and we could have some mobile processing in orbit of Kerbin. And so we launch our science laboratory. This is going to go up and dock directly with our station in orbit. It's not going to go to Minmus. I looked at trying to get the laboratory to Minmus, and essentially I can't. It's too heavy to actually be able to put into orbit with enough stuff to get to Minmus. I could construct something up there, but if I just dock it to the station up there, and then we can send something else up to grab the probe and bring it back to Kerbin, maybe something like that. I'm not too sure. Sure, we'll figure it out there. But yeah, essentially what I'm limited by is the launch capability of our base. It can do 140 tons, and I would need more than that to be able to get one of these science stations with everything required to get to Minmus or the moon or something like that. So right now it's just going to sit in orbit of Kerbin. Okay, so here we are above the atmosphere. We have quite a high apoapsis, which is kind of planned, sort of, because, and if I deploy here, you will see our final stage is nuclear powered. Yes, you see, I had originally planned for this to go to Minmus, but I just couldn't get it into a stable orbit with the bottom craft. If I could, this has the Delta V to go to Minmus if it was already in orbit of Kerbin, but it's not. So we need to find that, because although nuclear engines are really efficient, really good, they're slow, like really slow. So actually getting one to circularize your orbit is kind of difficult, but we should be okay, hopefully. Let's extend our solar panels, really put these on an action group, and yeah, we shall carry on burning until we are hopefully in orbit. And with a slight swish of the camera, that should put us into a somewhat good orbit. Guess we're about to hit our perhaps. Looks as if we're about to jump over. And there we go, 70. Awesome. Up to 80 and stop there. There we go. Right. So we're going to be 4.2 kilometers away from our target. That's not too bad, I suppose. If I carry on firing here, does it go up or down? It goes up. Okay, so we probably have to slow down for that encounter, which is easy enough done. This has got plenty of reaction wheels on it and plenty of monopropellant. I've got a fuel tank there full of propellant, so we are prepared for a change. Okay. Down. Okay, nope, that's apparently going to be the closest separation we can get. Why is that? Is it because we are too far away? Nope, man it if you don't mind. Okay. Ah yes, our inclination is entirely wrong. Okay, so we need to obviously match inclinations with our target. Something like that. And if I slow it down, there we go, we can get an encounter there that will unfortunately put us back in the atmosphere, but that's okay, we can slow down and speed up again. Not really a problem. Yeah, so I will orbit around and have a bit of a muck about till we can figure out exactly how we get there, and I will see you when we're at our station. And here we are, 40-ish meters out from our station. I do highly not recommend a nuclear engine for any sort of maneuvering other than probably deep interplanetary. They take so long to do anything. Unbelievable. Right, let's have a look-see here on the station. Oh dear. Let's dock with that one, shall we? Yay. So, I'm going to kill the engine, shut down so I don't do anything stupid with it, which is possible. We shall come in on RCS once I get a bit closer. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. I need to put my nose down. Something like that. Bring RCS on and go up. Hopefully I can get this correct. Oh, going up. I think I missed it. Yes, I missed it. How did I miss it? Ah, yes, I missed it like that. Okie dokie. That's okay. So go back a bit. Down a bit. And let's very confused as to what I'm doing now. Right. I want to go down. Right, be like that. Okay, stay on the horizon. And then all we want to do is just put the target marker down the bottom here. The target marker, that's the green one, that's where we're travelling. And that's where we're pointing. So we want to push this pink one, which is our target, onto that by manoeuvring the other side of it. That's the idea of it. We're essentially, by being over there, we are pushing that pink marker around. And if I turn off the RCS now and then turn off the SAS, maybe the magnets are strong enough in that front piece. I'm not sure. Hopefully magic. There we are. Magic Kerbal magnets do the job once again. Awesome. Okay. Not really much fuel or anything on board here. We do of course have this giant engine here that we've not used at all yet. This has become sort of a refueling station as well. I could fill it up with fuel, and yeah, all would be good. This can still go home. Yeah. So far this is not a bad station at all. We should control it from there though, and it can point radial out because that looks good. And we do have a crew member up here now. Valentina has joined the station. She has enough that is shielded. Yes it is, that is shielded. We didn't bring any scientists up. I thought rather than have them up here, living up here using all the resources, we just leave them down the bottom for the minute. In fact, I'm going to turn that off because that's wiggling. Don't like that. Let's turn off the SES completely, shall we? And just let it do its thing. Yeah. Yeah. She's got wow. A lot. Nitrogen's the only thing that's going to run out quick on it. The reason nitrogen's going to run out is because of this. I don't know if it's Kerbalism or if it's my profile. It's probably my profile, but the pressure control system in a processing lab is not sufficient to keep the pressure inside there. So you need external. So I've got a pressure control on that and on that to keep the pressure running, but that just loses lots of pressure for some reason. But I don't know, but that's fine. So with that successfully docked there, we now have a science station in orbit. We still have 2 ways to dock to it. That's fine. We got a little tug. So what we need to do now is get some science for that to process, and that would involve going back to Minmus to grab it from our satellite that is in a polar orbit. So the plan is to get this satellite, which has all of the data stored inside it, back to Kerbin. I have just transmitted the ones from the radar and the multi-spectral sensor here. This needs to come back to Kerbin. To get back to Kerbin, I believe it's 1,200 meters a second. Let me just quickly double check that on my little chart here. Lower orbit of Minmus to lower orbit of Kerbin is 1,090 apparently. So yeah, right. That's without error braking, of course, because this wouldn't really survive error braking very well at all. Might survive a little bit, but not a great deal. So, how would we go about getting this back to Kerbin? We're not really on a very good plane here. I'd have to fire sort of on here somewhere to do anything really. But we can get it down. I'm thinking if I can get it into some form of orbit around Kerbin, then I can send a craft up to collect it, essentially. That's the idea. We just need a manned, a Kerbal prod to get us there. That's very interesting. That will send us out and then out into oblivion. So yeah, that's very interesting out there. But that's possible. We could obviously wait for it to be over there and then come back around. I'm not too sure. I don't really know, but no, I think we'll go with that. I think we will go with that. That node is in 1 day because orbit around Mimus is very, very slow. So yeah, let's point ourselves at that. So make sure our solar panels are still getting some form of sunlight. They're not really. What if I did that? There we go. That gives us sunlight still. Excellent. And yeah, 1100. Yeah, if I can get this in some form of orbit that's close-ish to Kerbin, doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, that's, what is that? That's yeah, that's good enough. And I can put it in orbit around that sort of height, somewhere close to that. Then we can send the mancraft out to come up, grab the data from the probe, or grab the probe itself. I might recover the whole thing just because I can. It might be an interesting exercise to try and recover everything. And yeah, we can recover this, take it to our station, process the information, and then yeah. So let's go round and give this a try, shall we? Okay, our node has come and gone. I did miss it a little tiny bit, but doesn't particularly matter. Here, what's going to put us as? That will put us as. That'll do. That'll do. Very interesting that coming out of Minmus that way will slingshot us out into a higher orbit than Kerbin. Wow, that's interesting. We gain enough speed through a slingshot. Yeah, I will have to figure out how to do slingshot. I know there is a way you can essentially come out, use the moon to bring, like what I've done here, use the moon to bring yourself closer to Kerbin at a much higher speed, and then when you fire out down there, you use less fuel to get out further out to like Duna and places like that. It's a little complicated, but yeah, it is doable. But yeah, might have to figure that out in the future. Anyway, let's break out of Minmus's sphere of influence. So, and then we essentially want to walk down to our periapse and to get orbital won't even use all the fuel. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, if I was to essentially fire all the fuel off at periapse, where are we? 790. Just down at 340-ish, I suppose. there we go, 300 and 400, under 500,000 kilometers. But I think I'll put it into a circular orbit because that's just easier to track. When you're trying to do an encounter with an object, it's much easier if it's got a circular orbit. Yeah, that'll do. 108. Yeah, we go. Okay, so let's bring ourselves around for that one. Making sure again that we do have enough power on the sun. There we go, and we shall walk down to that node. And we lost signal with something there, so try that again. No more electric charge on Moonsat 1. That might have been just a high warp thing there. Yes, yeah, you see, 10,000 warp, we are severely dropping. But luckily, because we've clicked that, it is bringing our warp down automatically, which is quite nice. I'm going to stop that, however, because it's going to miss our target. And the engine's there. And we get a lovely, lovely view of Kerbin there. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Okay. Not worried about the maneuver that much. Just essentially want to fire. That'll do. 1817. That's not exactly circular, but it's close enough for me. So, okay. So, stage 1 of recovery. Send up a way to process the data into orbit. Done. Stage 2, bring the probe down to somewhere we can retrieve the data. Done. Stage 3 will be retrieve data and take it to the station. And we launch part 3 of our science recovery. Yes, this one has Jeb, Bill and Bob all inside it. All 3 of them are going up to the craft because I kind of have a small little side plan for it. Not only have I picked up another contract, which is to test a stacked decoupler in orbit around Kerbin, which we can do with this craft nice and easy, a little bit of money on the side. I've also put on some of the ports that allow you to link crafts together. I can't remember the name of it right now, but the connection ports there. And I'm thinking, if I can connect myself to the probe, not only can I take the data from it, which I'm going to do beforehand, because I think there's still that bug that data disappears if you merge crafts, but I'm going to take them, I'm going to connect the crafts together, I'm going to transfer fuel to it, so it can go off somewhere else. I don't know how much Delta V it's going to have when it's full, but maybe I could take it back to the moon, because we don't have the mass spectrometer around the moon yet, so that could be an idea. But yeah, so we actually get to it first. That's probably a good place to start. And so, with the sun looking like it's about to arise, let's deploy our bell. I once again have not actually set the solar panels up on an action group. I must remember to do that. And you can see here, these are the ones I was talking about. The connector port, that's exactly what they're called. Bill will be able to take one of these off, put it onto the other craft, providing he has. He does, yes, he does have a screwdriver, excellent. And yeah, we'll be able to transfer some fuel over to that, because hopefully we'll have some left. At least that's the idea. So, right, first and foremost though, let's actually get ourselves into orbit. That's probably a good place to start getting there. Okay, there is an orbit. Wow. We are really, really off our orbit. Okay. that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So we need to get out to same orbit as that. So I'm just going to point us pretty much 90 degrees. Just try and flatten the orbit out ever so slightly, and we shall boost up to roughly the correct height. I don't think this is particularly helping our inclination. A little bit. Okay, so there we go. We've got a sort of height. We can fix our inclination over here. Boom, there we go. Put us about even like that. There we are. And then we can also, once we're out there, figure out how to get closer to our target, because yeah, it's going to be all the way over there. But that's not really a problem, because obviously we're travelling a lot quicker than it by going down around here. So yeah, that shouldn't really be a problem, I don't think. Right, and after a very, very little tweak, I've discovered that we can just do one more small orbit. And simply fine-tune this here. A little too much, because the engine is really, really powerful. Let's turn that down, bring us about face, and yeah, I can get into an intersect that is very, very close after only one orbit, which is pretty good. There we go, 100 meters. Excellent. Look at that. Look at that. Fantastic. So let's point retrograde to the target, which I don't think particularly matters where we are here, but yeah, and we shall walk around, I suppose. Ooh, why did we? No more electric charge on Moonlander probe. We don't really mind that. That's not a huge problem. Okay, full stop. Right, let's walk to here. It's a 58-second burn time. Ooh. Let's do that. Which of course is going to be quite high, because rotate the craft around the wrong way, sorry. Don't know why I do that, it just makes sense in my brain. But yeah, it's going to be very high because obviously I've got our thrust turned way down there. Let's turn this up to about 10%, shall we? Because we do still need this attached here, because that is the contract that we have, and we need to do it at a certain altitude. So yeah, that's okay though, that's not a problem. Oh, stop. We are now moving away from our target. It would probably make more sense to do this from the lander probe, because it's much easier to maneuver with. But as we approach this probe, we shall have to bring this episode to a close. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again in the next one, and until then, as always, have fun.